Alrighty then. It is 10:35 on the 4th of January 2017 after an horrendous day, or is it a horrendous day, here in Veldob Central and generally in Media-Span Partners, Inc. Why is that? Because we have had, I guess you could call it the final death rattle of our internet connection. It has come back to a certain extent over the past 2 or 3 hours after a long, self-indulgent, I have to admit, outflow to Tier 3, which caused me to have a couple of screaming memes in the process of getting through, because no longer does the Tier 3 number, that's the telephone number, that they have listed on the Consumerist, by the way, no longer is it valid nor extant. That's extant, not extent. Well, we could go there too. Where was I before I derailed my train here? Woo-hoo! This has been quite maddening, and I have to admit that I've found myself fuming more times today than I have in the last year and a half. The last 3 years or so, we've had extremely poor, if you protract it out over time, poor experience with Time Warner, in parentheses, which is now Spectrum, replete with wonderful and beautiful inviting commercials on primetime television and elsewhere, and parens. And this is the last straw. This is the point where I have said before and meant it, and I mean it this time. I will absolutely pull the plug on everything else and go broke before I will let this company do the kinds of things and turn the deaf ear, not to denigrate any particular individuals or people in general. It's just the company got to be too large, and to get a little woo-woo about it, if you'll forgive me, the conscious calibration level, if you look up David R. Hawkins, not Stephen Hawking, but David R. Hawkins, that's Sir David Hawkins, who just recently left the planet after being a highly celebrated figure by none other than Mother Teresa and Wayne Dyer and some extreme luminaries. This guy knew what he was talking about, and he had studied consciousness for some 25 years, give or take. I'm not sure of the numbers. And this is something that no one except one other notable individual, quite honestly, had the foresight to do. We wonder why the world is a mess. Well, it's because we have a very ill, as Carl Jung called it, collective unconsciousness, or collective unconscious actually was his term for it. And without getting into that, that's a whole different YouTube channel and a whole different approach. But I've spent many years in that wheelhouse as well. This is nuts and bolts. Oh, this should actually go away. Okay. Ta-ta, Bandicam. Hope we're, well, actually, let's see that we're recording audio. Yes, we're recording audio, and it's really, hello? There we go. Just checking for peaks there. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to puncture your earballs. Okay, what are we really here for? Well, I want to upload this properly packaged video, and hopefully it will upload, because I have another video which is located here. If I can get to it really quickly. Where is it here? Uh-oh, that's not it. That's because it's a JPEG. Wake up. Not seeing it. Oh, there it is. Alright.
Alrighty. What we have here is a 27-inch AOC monitor.
This was at about, beginning at, I should say, 2:30 a.m. yesterday morning. Is it yesterday? No, it's today. I haven't had a lot of sleep behind this. We have a major event, when I say we, our small company here, having to do with changing banking parameters and policies and practices and so on. It has to be done in one day. It's been scheduled for some time, and it has to be done partially online. And our internet is it's finally basically died at one point yesterday where we had none of it. I saw from running testmy.net the lowest throughput number I have ever seen. Well, not throughput so much as download. We're paying for 60 megabits per second plus. It usually, when it's working, comes out to be a plus. And sometimes, literally within a few heartbeats, it takes a dump down to the 275. Hello? No, I don't know why I get that. Anyway, moving on. That was even exceeded by a 39K download speed at one point today. I've seen it happen where the testmy or the DSL reports or the Toast or the Speakeasy, all of these, including Time Warner's own speed registering page, gave abysmal results. I mean, that was a laugh. That's pure irony, guys. And that hasn't happened recently, but I've got probably, at least 50, 60, maybe even 70 or more folders full of screenshots of this stuff going back over many, many months. And it's only been recently that I've had the means, more so the time, to do screen videos, such as I'm doing now. I already took care of that. I don't know what the deal is. So let's get to it. What are we talking about here? Well, this is after the big catastrophe this afternoon. Without going into a lot of details, I did a very groundbreaking read it and weep video on my smartphone last night, involving 3 computers, 4 different monitors, and so on and so forth, to memorialize this. It's the first time that I have had the opportunity to take the time to do it, and I did it at somewhere between 2:30 and 5 a.m. I can't even upload it here tonight because our upload, well, let's see, what was the upload? I have one here. Here's an upload of 1.59 megabits per second. We're supposed to have at least 5. It's usually 6. Again, we're paying for 60 megabits. This happened to be at a point where somehow the system had recovered. So we might as well do this while I'm here. Notice the range, 20.4. And I think we have, if I can scroll down here, this is very interesting. Take a look. Wednesday, January 4th, 2017, 20.4, 17.85, 51.97, 37, and here we have, there's the 37 I was talking about. I didn't lose it after all. 30 freaking 777 kilobits. Typically we get a notification here, somewhere down, and wait a minute, where am I? Yeah. Well, I think we'll see one somewhere else, and we might see it when I do it live. Here's a 580 kilobits from speed of .me, which is also a flashless, reasonably accurate. And when I say reasonably accurate, I can say so with conviction, because when you run 5 tests from 5 or even more download registering websites, and they all come in within 5 megabits of each other, you know that you're probably getting the straight from the shoulder results, folks. What is this? Now here's some high. Typically, when it's working, we get some decent speeds. Now that's decent. It's not what we're paying for, but it's decent. I can understand. This is absolutely decent. We're only a couple megabits shy. What is this? Here we have a 45. This is DSL reports. Those of you who are in the know will know that this is kind of the bee's knees. If it hangs on your window, yada yada yada. This is not important. Anyone who would be expressing any interest in this ongoing rattlement. See, this is 1.59. For some reason, I'm unable to load the 30-minute video that I did on the phone last night. I have many, many YouTube videos shot directly from the phone that I've had no problem uploading. And YouTube does the transcoding. It does a very nice job of it, I might add. And so let's go to the new tab and do a live one here. Let's find test my. And rather than do that, actually, let's see how long it takes to load the page. Now, it's probably going to make a liar out of me, and we're going to be in it. This is kind of this is like bipolar syndrome. Sometimes it's absolutely abysmal, which you've already seen, and we'll see if I can somehow manage to upload this 30-second. Well, let's add 59.5 minutes to that. No, 29.5. Who cares? What am I saying? So, testmy.net. Alright. And we hit return. Let's see how long it takes to load the page. Well, that's better. For a while there, just before I started flapping my app, the little whirly-majig, squirrely jig as we call it, goes around and around and around and around. Well, it's going to respond now. Typically, with this much being downloaded, we're probably going to be seeing anywhere from 55 to 62 or such, which again underscores, there you go. But you can't depend on it. We do our internet banking online, and we have lost considerable amounts of money, which we have not charged back for yet. And we're going to, because class action lawsuit is not that far around the corner. And I am not kidding, because of this. Hold on to your seats. This is why. This is not just the ordinary person who has been fleeced repeatedly by a company that A, doesn't care, or B, is incompetent to fix the problems, or C, has no idea because the system involved, when I talk about the system, I'm talking about the global system. Oh, get out of here. I don't have any interest in dealing with that. I'm a little raw, folks. Yes, the Velvet Doberman is irritated. I think I can minimize this, yes? I'm not sure I want to. So let's put him down here for the time being. I would like for everyone to read this and take it to heart. Really, truly take it to heart. So, pause for dramatic effect. A couple swigs of coffee. And this is in the works. That's not really where I wanted to go. That's another one of our projects, which could very well be, could assist the planet in getting its act together. So I'll let the carousel go one time through and then get out of here and get back there. I guess what I was trying to do was click on this. There we go. You got to know your Twitter chops. See, this is... Well, that's odd. Do not know why that is. Technology, as I've been so fondly saying for many years now, in a tongue-in-cheek fashion, quote, technology, a great concept, not quite ready for prime time, end quotes. So I don't know what the deal is with that. And I'm not going to worry about that now. This is what needs to be observed here. All things go well. there will be more sponsors interested in my ranting and raving, which can be quite fierce. It isn't fierce now because I've actually depleted all my energy and had dinner. So, but it can be really ferocious. And we're thinking here at the central headquarters that the sponsors will be more interested in the money they can earn by my generating this revolving high velocity drama than they will be worried about it when I get them in my crosshairs. So that's that. I got to fix that one of these days, as Percy Kilbride says. Those of you who remember way back, I mean, I was knee-high to a grasshopper when that was around, of course. Don't need this. So let's do another one. And then I will revisit this proposition of attempting to download the truth of it all in the form of a 30-minute plus video shot on the trusty, rusty. Well, now look, see, this is great. This is great. There are people who would say, "What are you bitching about, Veldob?" I am bitching about the fact that in 5 minutes this could wind up somewhere down here. You get it? Are you feeling me? 5117 megabits. That's not the one. Where is the one that had the 37K? And it does it often. This is not an occasional thing. And this has been getting worse and worse over the past few days after having started several weeks ago. And then we could talk about the problem with the multiple hops in the DNS department. If I go to a commercial website, those of you who are familiar with this sort of thing will know exactly what I'm talking about. And there are all of these ancillary links, these tributaries, as I like to call them, to other websites. I can start reading a blog, and I have to readjust the damn thing, pardon me, have to readjust that puppy over and over and over, because 15 seconds after it started, because of the latency involved, something else pops on screen and knocks my screen out, and I don't know where I am, and I have to start reading. Okay, and I'm doing this. Is this ringing a bell? Resonating with anybody? So we'll do one more, and then I'll sign off and attempt to upload this. And then, following that, we'll attempt to upload the definitive. It doesn't have to be like that quote-unquote video. So it's slowing down. I can tell just by the number of elements. Well, maybe not. That's a lot of elements. And then sometimes it will just sit as the progress bar is increasing here, and it will go to 45 and sit for a minute, and then it'll proceed to 61, 62 and sit. It seems to like 76 a lot, and again you'll see that in the 30-minute smartphone video. Well, this is kind of counterproductive, so I'm going to end off on this and end off on the recording here. 18 minutes, that should be long enough to have made my point. And then we'll be talking to Tier 3, and as I did earlier today, spoke with a very wonderful young woman, asked her to go to the velvetdoberman.com website, which apparently she did after a long, silent wait. There was a brief blast of music, and then that telltale click, as though someone who had heard me mention that the conversation was being recorded, A, and B, that I have all of these network connections and yada, 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 said, uh-oh, we better get out of here, and pull the plug. All right, Velvet Doberman, in a moment, because we do this according to protocol and best practices to check timing. On 0, 1. See, this is what happened, guys. Can you really? Can you dig it? Ross Perot? I completely derailed myself. You see, brain broke after all of this. That's what happens. The more it mucks up the more mistakes you make, because the more emotional you become. And we don't really live life by our intellectual choices. We live life by our emotions. The more rattled we become, the more we get discombobulated. The more discombobulated, the more we screw up. And of course, you can see the dwindling spiral there, as I was preparing to say. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.